Hi, so in this video we're going to look at the modulus function or the absolute value function. So here I've got an equation of a straight line. At the moment is y is equal to x. I can change it using the sliders and I might do that later. Now if I ask to draw the graph of the absolute value function of x, what that means is that where x is negative, where y is negative, it will become positive. So just repeat that. So if I'm asked to draw the graph of y is equal to the absolute value function of x, what I'm saying is where y is negative, here y is negative, this bit just gets reflected in the x-axis, and you'll see that when I do that. Okay, so the graph of the absolute value function of x is going to be this sort of V-shaped here, not this bit here. We can remove that. But before we do, we can just see all I've done is reflected all the points in the x-axis. Let's just remove that. So this is the absolute value function of x. Okay, and if I move b, then what that does, of course, if b is positive, I get that, and then if it is negative, it goes that way, like the transformations of functions. Okay, so it will behave differently. Let's just go back to this particular value here. Okay, so we'll just think of this. I'm going to write on this a minute so you can just have a look. So if we just think of this as y is equal to the absolute value of x. I know we could see here we've got the absolute value of x plus 0. What I'm saying is it behaves if the absolute value function of x will be equal to minus x if x is less than 0. Alright, so let's just take the value of x before we see that. Here, this is minus 1. Okay, so what I say is the y value will be minus it. So minus 1 is plus 1. Here we got minus 2. Minus 2, because if we take minus x, will give me 2. Alright, so that's how it makes it positive. So minus 3 will make that positive. Okay, and then for values greater than 0 in this case, okay, it just behaves as x. So for when x is 1, it becomes 1. When x is 2, it becomes 2. Okay, so this is just the basic. So this is just the basic absolute value function. So, but let's just get rid of that. But if we move this along a bit, let's make this negative. Okay, so here we have the absolute value function of y is equal to the absolute value function of x minus 2. Okay, don't forget when you've got minus 2 in a function, it sort of goes to the right-hand side. So this point here becomes what's known as a critical point. So any value of x less than 2, so any value for x less than 2, if I need to find the y value, then what I need to do is minus x minus 2. So let's just take a particular y value. Let's just take 1, for example. At 1, this will become equal to minus 1 minus 2. Okay, so that's going to be 1. 1 minus 2 is minus 1, and minus 1 gives me 1. And you can see that you get the y value there, which is that value, which is 1. Let's just take another one. When minus, let's take minus 3. Minus 3 minus 2. So that gives me minus 3 minus 2 is minus 5. and then minus 5 gives me 5. So up minus 3, we get y is equal to 5. That's correct, okay? So that's what you have to do. You have to, when you're sort of solving an equation using this, for example, you have to find the critical value, whatever makes this bit equal to 0, okay? And then for values less than that value, then you have to put minus in it and minus all of it for the brackets and then solve it. Okay, if I did x is equal to 4, where x is equal to 4, where it is now positive, so this will be the case where for x greater than 2, then it will just behave as x minus 2 in this case, and therefore I would just have to work out 4 minus 2, which gives me the value of 2. And you can see when x is 4, y is 2. Okay, so this is how the absolute value function works. Now, if you put an a in front of it, and then all that does has the effect of making it stretching it basically. And what we've got here is a absolute value function where the sort of thing's much more steeper, okay? And again, sort of moving this along here has an effect as well. Okay, so this is what we have as the absolute value function. So the sort of formal definition is that the absolute value function ax plus b, the absolute value of ax plus b is going to be equal to minus brackets ax plus b, and if x is less than minus b over a, okay, and then ax plus b plus b if x is greater than b minus a. So you have to do negative the whole function, putting the whole function into brackets if it's less than that particular value. So my a minus b, in this case is, let's just change the number to b to make it a bit more of a fraction. Okay, since it's going to be 3/4, so to see if that's right, so it's minus 1.5, minus 1.5, that's positive 1.5 divided by 2, which is 3/4. So values less than that, it will you do negative the whole function to find the value of y, and for values greater than 3/4, you just take the function itself. Okay, so this has been a video to show you how to use the modulus function. Now the app for this I will put in the notes of the video. I hope you've understood, and I thank you very much for watching.